Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm in my office slash YouTube studio and it's a complete mess. Let me show you. As you can see, I got a bunch of stuff stacked all around me and it's just a complete mess. It's because it's that time of the year and it's time to do a complete office makeover because this has been on my list for a long time. I had some old furniture in here about 2 years ago. I decided to sell all of that because it looked outdated. Didn't look professional enough for like a YouTube studio. It just looked like your typical office and I couldn't stand it anymore. So I sold it off on Facebook. And if you saw some of my previous videos, I was using this butcher block right here that I scored for free a couple years ago. And I put that on some sawhorses and that served as my work desk. I like the size of it, but obviously it does not look like an office table. It was just something temporary until I saved up enough money to do this makeover. Because we're not big time YouTubers, we don't have any sponsors, we're paying everything out of pocket and we just started monetizing and it's not a lot of money. So I hope you enjoy this video and stay tuned to the end. I'll do the full walkthrough at the end and I also break down the cost of how much I spent on this. So as you see behind me, the wall, I just finished painting yesterday. It took me about a day and a half to paint this entire room. And if you watch my Instagram, I was talking about how to cut in on the trim like a pro. And here's your hack. What you need is a 3-inch angled brush in order to paint the trim on that. So don't go cheap on this because you want a nice quality brush. This one's almost done. I've had it for a couple years and I painted an entire house with this and it served me well. So what's worse than painting is taping before you paint. And nothing's worse than when you tape an entire room. It takes you like an hour, you make it all perfect. Then you paint the room, you peel the tape, and you still get some of that bleed through. And nothing worse than that because it's annoying, it looks ugly, and it's hard to fix it. So if you learn how to do this, this will save you a lot of time. So when I decided to go cheap and paint the entire house by myself, I decided to save myself some sanity, and I learned how to cut in by myself. I went on YouTube, watched how the pros do it, and they recommended this brush. And it showed the technique and painted the entire house without using a single piece of tape. And it looks perfectly straight and as you'll see in the video, and does not bleed through or nothing and saves you a lot of time. If you saw some of the posts, I posted a couple desks in the back, perfect timing with the ordering stuff. So I got 2 electric standing desks. I just put them together just to see how they would look like. The 2 butcher block tops I scored on Facebook Marketplace. I love using Facebook because you can score some really good deals with some really quality stuff. So I got to put together the butcher blocks and I just received a delivery from Wood Veneer Hub to replace this wall behind me. Because if you watch my video from 2 years ago, when I redid this wall twice, so my wife ended up not liking that wall in the end, and I found something to replace this and the Wood Veneer Hub, and luckily they had a 20% off sale and I got a little bit of a discount because this is probably one of the most expensive parts of this office is the wall. So I kind of wish it was a little bit cheaper, but if you want to make something look nice, you're gonna have to spend money on it. So yeah, so the next step is I'm gonna put the wall up and I'll show you how I do it. And then I have to cut the butcher block desks to perfect size. And I also have to cut this giant piece of butcher block for the centerpiece. And I also have to completely strip it down and match the stain on it so it matched the 2 sides. So just stay tuned. I'll show you the progression and then we'll do a final walkthrough in the end. And I'll break down the cost of how much this entire office makeover cost me. All right, so we're back. So the office is finally finished. It's about 99% finished. The only thing that's missing is a rug and some floating shelves. I haven't decided what I wanted to do with the floating shelves. I've been debating if I should learn how to make my own, or if I should just go IKEA and buy the IKEA shelves. So either way, I didn't want to take this too long deciding on the shelves, and figured I would do this 2024 office / YouTube studio tour. So I'll give you a quick view of the office, what it looks like. As you can see, I got my side right here, and I got my wife's side right there, and it's divided by this table in the middle right here. So right now is January 31st, and I started this project back in October. Obviously I had to do this on my days off, so it took some time. And the first project that I had to undertake was repaint this entire office to match the rest of the house. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos before I started this project, just to see what kind of stuff people are building, to get some ideas. And what I've noticed a lot of the YouTubers were doing is painting the entire office like the flat black color. And the entire office just looks like a cave. I'm not a gamer. I just want this to look nice and professional, and I don't want this to look like a cave. You also see a lot of YouTubers add a lot of LED lights to it. Yeah, it looks cool on the video, but not very practical for my use, so I decided to skip the LED lights. And plus my wife is not a big fan of the LED lights all over the place, and she says it just makes it look cheap. So I skipped all the LED lights as well, and the only thing that we did was upgrade the lighting. So we just added the can lighting in here, and to brighten everything up, so that way if you're working in here all day, you're not just gonna fall asleep because it's all dark due to the black walls. The second thing, as you can see behind me, was the accent wall. If you watch the previous videos, I built that white wall, and it took me a couple tries to build that previous wall, but in the end my wife did not really like it, so I decided to go with the sound deadening wall from the wood veneer hub. They were having a 25% off sale. I think that was for Thanksgiving. So I took that opportunity and bought the wall. It was hard for me to make that decision because it's so expensive. It cost me $1,200 for the wall itself. But in the end, as you could tell, it turned out pretty well. And once you put it all up and you put your ear next to it, you can actually tell how it absorbs all the noise. There's still a little bit of echo, and it's because I don't have a rug on the floor, and these are hardwood floors, and this is a pretty tall ceiling room with 9-foot ceilings. So if you've ever built an accent wall, one of the tips I'll give you is you start from the top down. I've built plenty of these walls, and you want to start at the top and work your way down, because that way when you get to the bottom piece and you have to do any type of trimming, it's not going to be noticeable. Everything is at the bottom. So these are 9-foot ceilings, but the planks are about these panels are about 8 foot long, I think. So I was still a foot short, so I had to cut one down to 1-foot segments. And when you're cutting these panels, make sure that you're getting a nice 60-tooth saw blade. Make sure you put a brand new saw blade on. I even put a brand new saw blade with one of those really nice Diablo saw blades, and I was still getting slight chips on the edge. So the big thing is making a clean cut, and make sure you're doing it at the bottom. So the solution to that is you're still going to see that seam where the two panels connect. So what I did was got a 1-inch oak trim, and I tried to color match it to the wall as much as possible. It's hard when you're working with two different wood types, but I try to do my best to color match it. And then I just tacked it on with some finishing nails on there, and it turned out just fine. I got no complaints the way it looks. And as you could see in the video, it looks pretty clean. Another thing is the color that I chose for this wall is the walnut color. But as you could tell, I don't know if you could tell from this lighting, but it's not really that dark of a walnut color. It's still pretty light. So one of the solutions, if you're looking for that rich dark walnut look, is you can apply some wood oil to these planks and it will darken it up and it will last you a long time. So just to test this theory out, I had a segment left of the plank and I put some wood oil on here, and it was just your regular butcher block oil. So he just put a coat on here, and I put this back in October and it still looks nice and dark. So the next thing that I purchased was 2 standing desks, and I got the actual the motors and the desks themselves from Amazon. And I also waited for, I think it was some kind of a sale. So I purchased the ones with the dual motor ones just because, as you could see, I got this giant 43-inch monitor on here. So just in case, I just bought the dual motor one. I'm not sure if that was overkill or not, but just on the safe side, that's what I got. And for the butcher block tops, like I mentioned, I purchased those on Facebook Marketplace. Took me a long time to find 2 matching ones, but sometimes persistency pays off. And as you can see, this middle piece right here, that was my old desk that I've used for the last couple years. So that served me well, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I figured I'd make this my centerpiece. I actually scored this one at a golf course that shut down, and I actually did some research just to see approximately how old this butcher block could be, because this thing is extremely heavy. It felt like it was a solid oak butcher block, and the golf course itself was actually 100 years old. So I'm not sure how old this thing is, but if it's as old as that golf course is, it's like a 100-year-old butcher block. For the table legs for the centerpiece of this butcher block, I used my trusted source. I try to support local small businesses. And in the past, when I built the live edge table for my dining room, I used Econ Welding. They're a local metal shop that specializes in different types of table legs, and they always do outstanding work. So I went over there, talked to the owner, and I told him exactly what I wanted. I told him exactly what I had. So he suggested these table legs, and I put in my order, and they were done within a week. And you can order these directly from them if you're not local to this area, for example. They're on Etsy, and they deliver this nationwide as well, because when I picked this up, they actually packaged it up like it was getting ready to ship, even though it wasn't necessary, but they do a good job packaging this. And I really love the way these table legs turned out for the office. So the next thing that I purchased were these office chairs. As you can see, these things are pretty comfortable. So with these chairs, I pretty much fell with the whole Facebook advertising. These, for some reason, kept popping up on Facebook, and I decided to check them out. I watched some YouTube videos on it, watched some of their Instagram videos, just to see how good of a quality these chairs are. And I was also shopped around for some used Herman Miller chairs, but I just was not willing to pay like $500 to $600 to $800 for a used Herman Miller chair. So I decided to gamble and purchase these from Hinomi. And these chairs, so far, I've been enjoying them. They're pretty comfortable. So I'd say they're pretty comparable with the Herman Miller, but I'm not sure about how long the quality is gonna last, but they feel pretty solid. And I'm satisfied with the purchase, especially I bought these on Black Friday deal, and these cost me like $400 some for 2 chairs. So I can't complain. I worked all day on one of these, and they feel pretty comfortable and solid. And the last couple things of furniture that I purchased were the 2 filing cabinets from IKEA. It was another thing. I was trying to find some furniture that's gonna look good in here. So I ended up with the IKEA furniture, which isn't always my top pick because the assembly takes forever. But either way, it all worked out. And the last thing that I bought was the Husky mobile toolbox. So if you watched my previous video, I go over in detail how I finished off the top on this Husky. And the way this thing turned out, it's perfect because I can organize all my stuff now. I can charge all my batteries all in one place, and it's finally all organized. So as I mentioned before, the only thing I have left is just add a few shelves on here and maybe get rid of this white printers, which does not blend in here anymore, but it still gets used. So I just left it here because my wife still needs it for work. Other couple minor things that I added on here was this leather pad. I know there's a lot of synthetic pads out there, a lot of overpriced type of stuff, and I just wanted something that's actual genuine leather. So I found this one. Is called Londo, and it was on Amazon, and it was actually used but looked brand new to me. And I think it cost like 40 bucks, but it was totally worth it because leather feels way better than any type of synthetic material, and the brown leather looks awesome. And I also added the stand for my headphones, and it's got a nice walnut base pad on there. And that's pretty much it. Even though my desk still kind of looks like it's busy because of the giant monitor and this new Apple MacBook Pro that's 16 inches. So it still eats up a lot of the real estate on my desk, but I'm extremely satisfied with this office project. This has been years in the making, because anytime I undertake a project, I take out a pencil, a piece of paper, and a ruler, measure everything out, visualize what I want, get some ideas from Pinterest, and just made it my own. So the total cost of this project ended up costing me approximately $3,600. And this wasn't super cheap, so it took me some time to save up some money to do this entire project, but in the end it's all worth it. So if you want to look professional, make professional videos, you kind of have to have a professional office to do this in. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like the content, we would appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up, and if you would subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see any other additional content, you can check out our Instagram at To The Core Media, To The Core Actual, and Officer 178 for any additional content. And we'll see you on the next one.